Hello, welcome back to Vapova Gaming, and welcome back to my tower. We've been advancing a little bit, and it's been a confusing week, I would say, or maybe a little more than a week, because I've been trying to transition over into Orb Devo with walls, and I kind of got it working. If we look at my battle history and I go down a little bit, um, there's this run right here where I got up to 21.2 billion coins per hour. So it's not my highest earned coins rate, but you know, the amount of coins just under 4,000 waves is quite a bit. So that's the highest coins per hour I got. And I did that Orb Devo with walls. And it was pretty amazing. I got up to a point where uh, I even saw the 1 billion per minute on my screen. Now, I know the per minute thing isn't really reliable, and wave skips get a have a way of really increasing it, and but the thing is, I wasn't really getting under 500 billion per minute. It was just sitting there around 500, 600, sometimes touching 7, and sometimes it got crazy and one time it touched the 1 billion per minute. So that was a really good run. The thing is, I tried to reproduce it later on, and it didn't quite work. Let's see which one that is. I think it's this one right here. Same tier, same strategy, uh, but I only got 15 billion per hour, which is quite a big difference, right? That's 25% less. And I couldn't really figure out what I did different with the other run. Um, the main thing, and it kind of sucks that I don't have gameplay right now because I just finished this one here, and it finished while I was taking the kids to bed, so I didn't realize I was dying, so I couldn't transition into Blender or pause it so I can save it for this video. Um, but it's pretty tricky with the walls. The reason is because the thorn damage. I got my lab up to almost up to 12. It's an hour left, and I got wall thorns 12. But the amount of days it takes, because wall thorns goes up to 20, which would be pretty nice, and I think that would make quite a difference. But it's I'm talking about like the last lab is like 500 days, right? That's insane. That's a year. So that's not going to happen unless you pay a lot of gems for it, which I don't buy anything in this game except the first three multipliers you can buy. I haven't bought anything, and I don't plan to. So that's something that I'll probably never achieve unless there's some game changing thing that can make labs go faster, which I think they should, and I think they should make it so you have pretty early access to a way to run these labs faster than these speed ups do right now, because I think it's the only way to catch up. Because the main difference between players like me that started later and players that started early was their ability to use gems to rush, which mainly was because there wasn't any modules. So all the gems goes into the carts, and once you finish the carts, there's nothing to put gems in except for rushing labs. That was until, of course, the modules came out. But if you've been around for the modules since the beginning, then you probably have everything ancestral that you really care about, and you can also start putting stuff into rushing labs. Now, for me, it's like I'm not even close. Like, I haven't finished the cards yet because I've been spending on modules more, but I'm not even close to, let's say, finishing the modules, right? I have a couple of legendaries, some epics, one mythic, and that's it. So I'm far away from being able to think about spending money on lab rushes. So the idea of getting wall thorns up quite a bit is, unthinkable because it's not going to happen. So I have to think about once this one finish, I think I'm going to run something else, and then I'm really going to take a look at the charts there are, because there's a pretty good chart on Reddit somewhere that shows you exactly how many hits it takes. There we go. Wall health went up. The chart shows you exactly how many hits it takes for elites and bosses to die in, depending on your thorns level and depending on your wall thorns lab. And then you can see if it's worth going up more in wall thorns or not. Because let's say it takes me 3 more levels, which adds up to like, I don't know, 90 days just to get them down one hit faster. That might not be worth it. So I have to see, where the limit is of the wall thorns. Because even if like the next one only takes, let's say 15 days, if it doesn't take the amount of hits it takes for enemies to die down, it's essentially useless until, you get to a level where it gets down more. So you have to look at that in order to decide how far you're willing to take it. So that's the dilemma I have to deal with. And because you have the wall thorns so low, and it's, not going to get up to the 20, you have to find different ways to deal with basic enemies, except for the tanks, because you need to trim those in order to get as much tanks as you can to kill all the enemies. Which for one means I've been dumping a lot into my damage workshop, which is now at 4,500, and I want it at 5,000. Just so I can gold box it in run easier. And I have to micromanage quite a bit what I do with these attack links during the run. Though I think the first 1,000, maybe even 1,500 waves of a run, even in Orb Devo, the respawn rate is just so slow that it doesn't really matter, right? So I can get my damage and my stuff up. If I'm a little bit more lazy, I can just get it all up, and then it's high enough for the prime waves. But it's a lot more managing. The good thing about it is that because I have my health up to 5,000 and my regen up to 5,100, I can switch to a blender mode or a blender build in run pretty quickly. Like it takes me, I don't know, maybe like 200 waves, and it's pretty much set. Like if I do a night run, I only need 200 waves to be ready, and then I can just let it run because most of my stuff will be gold boxed. And the only thing is that I won't be able to use cash to dump in enemy attack level skips, but it doesn't really matter. Which is another thing, the enemy health level skips is actually going to matter in the Orb Devo with wall because, You know, you don't want their health to go up that quick because you need to trim. And at some point, their health just is just getting so high that I'm not able to trim. Um, and I think one thing that would be able to help is if I get an ultimate weapon and get the chain lightning. Um, so you know, I can use that to help with the trimming. But you know, the next one is 1250. I'm not sure if that's the best play to start saving up for that. I think it makes more sense to spend on Black Hole and Golden Tower. Maybe even a little bit on Death Wave before I start getting my next ultimate. I still want to get the cooldown of the Death Wave in sync with the Black Hole and the Golden Tower. Not a 1-on-1, but I think it's a 1-3, which is fine. Um, then at least it's sync a little bit. And then another thing that I had to be disappointed about was that I was excited to get the Golden Tower and the Black Hole to down the cooldown to 2 minutes 40 because that would mean it's in sync with the Golden Bot. But what I didn't think of is that this, not that one, this little module right here, um, yeah, it takes the cooldown of ultimate weapons down, but of course not the Golden Bot, so that takes it out of sync with the Golden Bot, which makes the Golden Bot fucking useless again. And I'm not sure what I want to do with that. I think if I'm in Blender mode again, like just completely in Blender mode, then I might try this one right here, because then from the beginning I'll be running free ups, and that should give me an extra coin bonus. But I don't know if this is actually going to give me more coins than this would even without the Golden Bot sync. So that's something I have to try out and see what I want to do with that. Speaking of modules, as you can see, I have 14k gems saved up. The next featured module is coming out in a little less than a week. And I hope that this is going to be enough to get it at least to Mythic, which I think it should easily be enough to get it to Mythic. And depending on what the module is, if it's really good or no, I might even get it to Ancestral. And I might even try to get to Ancestral even if it's a shitty mod, because, the substats. You know, of course, I want Sharp Fortitude. I would want this one up as much as I can, because the enemies take 1% increased damage from wall torrents might actually be very useful for the Orb Devo build. But the fucking defense percent only goes up to 3, and an Ancestral goes up to 10, and that 7% is huge. Besides that, I can also get my health regen up. I think even the 300% or something like that. I think it's 200 for Mythic and 300 for Ancestral. I know it's 100 here, which is already huge. But then the Mythic and Ancestral, like 200, 300 health regen is huge. That just increases my combined with the higher defense substat, that would increase my survivability like big time, right? So I think that's going to be the play. Right. Besides that, we have a new event, or it's not that new anymore. It's been 2 days. I'm kind of late with the video. But I saved the cards that we still have to do, so we're going to pull that. And I still have to buy this event stuff that, I forgot to look at these ones. Cash bonus, that's, welcome for now. I would take that. Ultimate damage, I'll take that too. those are pretty decent modules. And let's see what's the pay for win modules. Low speed, don't care. Crit factor is decent. Um, but not worth spending the money on. Definitely. Good. In the shop, we have, of course, the new tower and the new background. So we're going to check that one out. That's going to increase the coins a little bit as well. The cobweb is going to increase the tower health by 2%, which is really nice. And then we have defense absolute again, which it almost hurts me to spend 500 medals on this. But we're hoarding. We're taking all the relics, even if they're shitty, because maybe one day defense absolute will actually make a difference, and maybe late game it actually makes a difference if we ever get there. But now it just feels like you're taking all my money and you're giving me something shitty back. But like I said, we're hoarding, so we're taking everything. We should still have a little bit over by the end to spend on the golden bot, or maybe get some stone packs again. But we'll see when we get there. Let's get the card missions done. Ooh, before we do that, I have this milestone right here. Got tier 9 to almost weigh 5,000. That's the power of the wall. It really is. Man, I wish I could get these too. But they're so expensive. Like, if they were $10, I would think about it, right? And then I still feel like that's a lot of money. But $35. Come on. Bend me over and take it. All right. Well, let's get this one. I think that's 5% or 3% health or something like that. So we definitely take those. And then we have to pull, what was it, 180? I think it was 180 cards. I'm hoping I get Hell Regen. Oh, don't go off. I get Hell Regen again. It's not a huge increase from 240 to 260, but we'll take it. And of course, the extra defense. That one is actually pretty close as well. For the rares, crit coin. Get more coins. That one is close. Free ups is decently close, but that's just 1%. It's not huge. And then I hope to get again an epic that I don't own, purely for the events at this point. Though looking at this, I haven't thought about that yet. It might be useful to start getting. Oh, this one might actually be useful. Can you switch it in? Ooh, it's not a locked one. That might be useful to get my damage up. Oh, I haven't thought about that yet. That's interesting. Super Tower might be useful too. Ooh. I'll have to think about that. All right, let's get these going. Sadly, it's going to hurt into the gems I need for the medals, but, it is what it is. Or not the medals, the modules. Range, we don't want that. Well, we got health regen. Is health any close? No. Recovery package. Well, at least we got one health regen. Skippity skip. Ooh, we got a second wind. We got a wave skip. I'll take that too. We got 2 coins. All right. That increase goes from 140 to 145. That's not much. Well, it's not that bad, actually. It's not that bad. Enemy balance, not close either. That's 20. Let me make sure I don't buy too much. 40. That's one. Another wave skip. 3 ups. Coins. Decent ones, I gotta say. That's the 40. Oh, skip. Health regen. Need 7 more. Probably not gonna get it. Probably not gonna get it. All right, 4 more. 4 more. Recovery package. Another health regen. Oh, go there. There we go. Oh, we're getting a lot of health though, but it's still far away. Extra defense. Didn't get much of those. Free ups. That's pretty close. Recovery package again. Extra defense and health regen. A pretty good pull. And just like that, already finished it. Nothing upgraded. Wave skip. I'll take that one. Another health regen. Health regen is pretty close. 4 more. I might get that next event. Alright, that was epically boring. Only 1 epic, which was the second wind, which still needs 1 more to upgrade, which I don't think it doesn't really do much, right? These epics are only they're gonna be really big once I max out these and I'll only start pulling rares and epics, then then it actually is going to get a lot more fun trying to pull these. My gems though, 12.4k. That hurts. I really prefer to have spent those on modules, at least on the banner. But like I said, it is what it is. Can't do nothing about that. Good. Well, we took a look at the laps. Let's go over it real quick. I'm trying to get the standard perk bonus up to the max, or as far as I can at least, so I can get the defense up. The defense stat, and of course the coins help as well. Wall health, I'm trying to get up all the way to 50. And after that, I want to get into fortification. Wall thorns, I'm going to switch after this one for something econ. I don't know yet. It might just be coins per kill, because I think I'm pretty lacking on that, to be honest. It should be in my figure. Coins per kill, 36. I should have that at 50 at least. So I think that's what I'm going to run there. And regen, I think this one is okay. That's like another week. And then, of course, the wall regen, at least every level is going to give you a little bit more regen, as opposed to thorns, where you need, multiple levels for it to be effective to take it, the amount of hits it takes to kill an enemy actually down. So we have to look into that a little bit more. All right. Last thing I think to check out is the tournament. As you can see now, I did a tournament run from Orb Devo Wall, trying to switch into Blender, of course. And then, I think I was I don't know what I was doing in the morning. I think I did the first 200 waves and then I let it run. So I know I can do better than this, which I will try in a second and update you on later on how far I got. But at least I'm consistently in the middle now, it feels like, in the Platinum League. And I also feel like, I don't know, the top four might not be that far away. It's like 400, 500, 600 more waves on top of this. I think it's doable. I think we can get there relatively soon, especially with the wall. But we need a better developed wall. I think wall fortification is going to help. It sucks that the thorns can get up much more, but being done with wall thorns also means a big coin sink done, because it's taken quite a bit of money, right? The wall thorns is at 120 billion, and the wall regen is at 100 billion, and the wall fortification starts at 290. So not having to pay for the thorns is also going to help me for paying for the fortification. So that was my update. Give me them 5 gems. I'll do those. I will keep you updated. The next update, I'll keep you up on how the tournaments are going, and whatnot. I really, really hope I can get the wall Devo working again like I did, so I can get the 20 billion per hour runs. Those were really amazing. But I think I need more damage. All right, that was it. Thank you for tuning in, and I see you guys on the next one. Welcome back, everybody. I just wanted to add a little bit of gameplay, and here we're into a Devo with wall run, and it's been going decently. If we look at my stats right here, I'm at 80 billion an hour, which is pretty decent at wave 3400, and already earned 100 billion coins. I think I have it pretty much as it should be, but the main thing I'm just lacking is damage. And I'm thinking the one run, the tier 9 run, where I made up to over 20 billion an hour, and I saw, the billion a minute that I was talking about. I think that happened when I got Chain Lightning as a free ultimate weapon. And I think that added enough damage to do more trimming than I'm doing now. Because when I look at it, there isn't much trimming going on. The only trimming that really seems to happen is the thorns, and my damage is just not really keeping up enough to do the trimming. So yeah, if I want to make this more effective, I think I need to get more damage and possibly start, at least for the future, start thinking about if I want Chain Lightning as my next ultimate weapon. Because I think having good damage or having more damage is going to be helpful in tournaments as well. And it's also going to be helpful for this build here. Now, as you can see, it's running up to 500 million a minute, and I just started this one up, so the averages are still going up and down a bit, but it's around that. It's around 500. Sometimes it jumps up to 6. I've seen it at 7. The highest I've seen was 800, but again, I think that's just wave skips, lucky wave skips that give me a lot of coin. Um, as you can see, my health, I haven't gotten all the health perks yet. I'm missing one. And if I get that, my health is over 1 trillion. My health regen is maxed also in the perks, and I get it up to 700 billion a second, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because my base health is only, 971 billion or 1 trillion. So that's like 70% of my max health. So yeah, I think to push further into waves, it's also going to be helpful to get a better wall. And at this point, that kind of just means get the fortification lab running, right? But that one is still expensive. It's like 300 billion starting off, and it only takes like 12 hours, I think, the first one. So I need to have some coins, some money in the bank before I really do that. But for now, I'm just doing the wall health lab. I think when that one finishes, I will change wall health into fortification. And the wall regen, I might stop after this one. Maybe I'll do it one more, but I don't think I'm going to push it past level 15 because it just takes too much time. And I think there's some other labs that I need to catch up on a little bit that will make me more effective. And one of those definitely is the Death Wave cell bonus. Because with this build, of course, I'm losing out on a little bit of cells. I still managed to run one of the labs at 3x like every 2 days, like this one or this one right here. Missed it again. Speed up. It's gonna go to 3x the next one after 2 hours, if the 2x is finished. And then I'll let that run at 3x for 24 hours, and then I'll switch it back to 2x until I have enough cells to do it again. But I'd like to have more cells because it'd be really nice to have some more labs starting to run on the 3x as well. So that was it, a little update. I mainly wanted to show some gameplay with the wall, and this is close to the end. I think I might squeeze in a couple hundred more walls if I look at my wall health going up and down. Here, look at that, 600 million a minute. Yeah, pretty nice. But, when my wall's gone, I'm going to pause the game, switch over to Blender, and milk it out until I go to sleep and start my night run. Well, that was it. See you guys on the next episode.